Gibson is meowing his brains out for some reason. We're going to glue this in today. So I filled up my Sugar Bell bottle with my Fabri-Tac glue, made sure it was running good. This is all dry now. So what I want to do, and maybe I haven't shown you this before. So there's a little lip here, right there. So I sort of want to fold the paper over that little lip. In the past, I've just done it with my fingers, but today I'm just using this scoring tool from one of my mini tools. Just so it's got a little ditch there. There you go. Same thing here. Let's try with my fingers first. I'm just not feeling very strong. Okay. So, we're ready to go here. Make sure the front's the front. The front's the front. So I'm going to place it in the spine so that it's even top and bottom. Get my glue. And just putting glue on that ditch area that we created. Okay. Turn it around, make sure it hasn't shifted at all. Okay, now I'm going to take this bone folder, put it in between the fabric and the front page. Just make sure I've got that pressed right down into the back of the spine. See that? And then I'm going to put it between the fabric and the last page. And again, just push it down in there. And then from the other side. Okay, there's not much else I can do till this sets up. So I'm just going to hold it. No, I gotta go get a coffee. I'll be right back. Okay, we're in good shape. Except that cat is still meowing. I'm just looking at this and I'm kind of concerned about the length of the front paper. So I'm just going to trim that down. I'm just putting a little of the Fabri-Tac on where the fabric is doubled. I'm not going to put it on anywhere else because I'm afraid that it would seep through. All right, that's good. Same deal on the back. There we go. There we go. I think that side's good. So now I want to put in the inside covers. So I'm just going to look at this. Oh, that's a perfect size. You know what I'm struggling with? I really, really, really want to put a fabric pocket on there. I always put... I haven't put any lace anywhere else. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Hang on. Okay, so you're never gonna believe what happened in a million years. I deleted the end of the video. So, you're just gonna get a flip through. So, as I have on the last few journals that I've made, I did a snippet, a lace snippet closure. So this just unsnaps like that. Now, we'll go through this slowly. I was gonna say, we'll go through this quickly. No, we won't. We're gonna enjoy it. Here's our front pocket with a vintage postcard. Here I have a pearl on a vintage paper clip holding in a brain. So those are those brain flashcards that I made the other day. This is paper from Marshall Field catalog. Some tea-dyed copy paper, book page, tea-dyed copy paper. This is from a book about trees. This is from an address book, maybe. Here is a page from a book, a French book, and I've got a little piece of vintage tape here holding together a small tear. And I chose this page because the mother insisted there had to be something about coffee in the journal. So this is a coffee service. That's a coffee pot. And here you're going to see the backs of all those pages. This is a tea-dyed piece of memo book. This is the bottom of a doctor's invoice. This is a genuine cigarette card. I chose Rose because that's the flower of June, which is her birth month. This is an envelope that I cut open, and it's postmarked 1937. Some more of that address book. This is a piece of music that is about 200 years old. And this is, it feels like cloth. It's got so much rag in it. Tea-dye paper. This is a dictionary page, and it has a neuron pictured here. The receiver is a lover of plants. So this is a seed catalog order form. I think it was from the 1930s. And it also has an antique paper clip. And here I have an invoice from the 1940s for a bakery. I put two of them back to back to make it stiff and give lots of place to journal. And because the recipient loves to bake cakes, especially for family occasions. Another pearl, and I chose pearls because pearl is the birthstone of June. I had actually accidentally put my clip on 2 pages. So Italy and France are important places for this young lady. So this is a genuine postcard from 1898, and I made it into a pocket by covering it with some vintage glassine. And this was torn, so I resurrected it with some vintage lace and paper, of course. Okay. There's the front of that 1937 letter envelope. Here's the front of that 1925 doctor's bill. Book page. think the book was called Flowers of the Holy Land. Tea-dyed paper. This is from a birthday book. It's Edith. All I can think of is Edith. Like she's my friend. So this is a picture of the Arc de Triomphe in France. It even has some French handwriting there. A little bit of journaling spot. Edith Holden. I believe this is Sanskrit. And I chose that because yoga is important practice of this, ladies. Here is a page from a book about cocoa and chocolate. Mom insisted something about chocolate in the journal. And on this side is a recipe for a chocolate cake, a self-iced cocoa cake. Here's a genuine vintage postcard. I covered it with a chunk from a vintage hanky and made a little pocket at the back. Her initial is M. This is a magazine page from a vintage gardening journal or magazine, tea-dyed paper. This came from an old cookbook, and inside I just made this little booklet, and I have used paper that I tea-dyed and put these leaves on top of because she enjoys plants. And it has cake recipes and pictures. This is another old envelope. This one shows, the back of the envelope shows the Keenan Hotel system, but there's space here to journal on. This is from a business journal of some kind. You can list your expenses on. This comes from an old magazine. It has plants on the back, and on the inside has this pretty picture. I believe this magazine was from the 1920s. There's the front of that envelope. It's from Hotel Plankinton in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 1926. Here's the other side of that cake page, and inside I have this jewelry envelope, and her mom talked about her enjoying antique jewelry. So I've created this little tag and put some vintage ledger on it. Has some pictures of some of the jewelry store's wares, and on the front, this is some Italian writing, because as I mentioned, Italy is an important destination. This is a vintage. This is an antique Victorian paper scrap, and again the June rose, and reading is a big deal. So I have a Shakespeare here who matches also the author of this book about Shakespeare. Here's another. This is some vintage stationery, and it had a matching envelope. So I just glued the envelope to the front. It already had a stamp on it and everything. I glued the flap slightly closed, but left it up a bit so something could be slipped under it. So she enjoys sewing. She makes her own like tote bags and things like that. So I used this vintage button card with a little bit of canvas and some lace, just to make this little decorative thing. And inside is this tag that I made in a Take Out the Trash Tuesday a couple weeks ago, using an antique probably photo that was kind of damaged. So I layered on some paper, some lace, stamps, some beads, a little calling card. And there's room on the back to journal. Let's see if I can get this back in without having it too close to my face for vision. This little orange tag here at the top, that came from a 1940s clothing catalog, like a catalog for retailers to order from. I just looked at this and I thought, did I break my snap off already? But it's on the top. Silly Nancy. This is a 1920s laundry list. Invoice, receipt thing. I covered the back of it with some tea-dyed paper, just like a tracing paper or something. This comes from a penmanship book about medical words, medical terms. And I believe there's a brain on here somewhere, probably on the other page. More magazine. Here's another page from that address book. There's an H. Yeah, there's a brain. That's how you write brain in Pittman Medical Dictation. So here's this is embossed in silver, the name of the lady who owned this stationery. It was Elizabeth Marshall. A resolved and ambitious woman. So here's some more coffee. This is an ad for freshly ground coffee. Has some recipes on the back. This is a June calendar page from 1943. This is a vintage document from Canadian Immigration Service. Her parents came to Canada during the time of the war in Bosnia. It's a page from a book about friendship, I think. Here is another brain. And I used a page of some vintage knitting pattern. It was a baby pattern. Her mom talked about a vivid memory of hers, her and her daughter knitting baby blankets together for the local hospital's preemie unit. This is a blotter. And if you go to my Ko-fi channel, the link is in the description below. You can get a free printable of this, plus other images. So it's a blotter. I just thought it was really pretty with the flowers and the trees. So here's the other side of that coffee advertisement. And let's have one more brain. Some more yoga. This is an envelope from 1902. I did this in last Tuesday video last week. So I made this, I think I made this last Tuesday. So I made this little tag holder thing. It has some papers in it for journaling and also these little tags for journaling. And I just used these vintage seals because this came from a wholesale fruit company. And I rusted this clip myself. This is just a scrap of book page that I slapped on there with another pearl. Okay, this is a page from a book. I don't know who those guys are. They're medical men, though. Another brain. This is a little tag that I made. It has a rose on it, the June flower, and it has another yoga picture in there. And this is on a genuine 1880 confectionery. I don't need that there. And if you go to my Ko-fi page in the description below, you can get a free printable of this, although this one is the genuine article. I added this tag. So this is from a florist from Savannah, Georgia. Nothing on the back. And for the last time, free printable on my Ko-fi channel. Guess where you'll find the link? That's right, in the description. Here's a microscope from the 1870s. The lady who's receiving this is, she currently lives in Ottawa. So this is a picture of City Hall and Elgin Street in Ottawa, Canada. This is a vintage note paper. I tea-dyed it, tucked it up there. Page from a book, Henry What's-His-Face. And at the back, this is a real postcard. And it says, "Many happy birthdays to come." This is a birthday gift. Has the June rose on it. And just pull it apart and you have a hidden journaling spot. So that is that. I hope her mom is going to like it. Hope she'll like it too, but you know, I have to, you know, be with her mom 5 days a week, so I really hope her mom likes it. Anyway, any questions or comments, please leave them below. I'd love to hear from you. I guess we can get working on our next project. Thanks so much for joining me with this. If you've ever wanted to try to make your own journal from a vintage book, go back to the beginning and follow along. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.